Well, it's springtime, which means it's time to go out to the beehive and add a pollen patty to them because the queen's going to be laying more eggs, so she needs more protein to be able to produce brood. My veil's coming over my head a little early here. So, what we're going to do is I got a hive here over winter, and I'm going to use my hive tool here, and I'm going to scrape out all of the dry sugar from the hive, put it in the container, and then I'm going to add another box onto the top, and that box is basically a brood box. It's deep brood frames, and my intention is get the queen to come up and start laying in there, and then I can use those for graft new hives later. More on that down the road. But the basic part of this hive structure is that I have double deep frames in here, and this is just for the colony. So if I wanted to do any work for me, it has to be from this level up. So I'm going to put a brood box on here, and then I'm going to put their sugar and pollen patty up high, so they have to come up to eat, and they'll get used to using that area. The queen will come up and she'll start laying in there once the workers identify that as an area that is ready to move into. They're looking for that area right now because it's springtime and they're building up. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, so I got that new box all set up. I'm going to put the new pollen patty on top. This has some frames of honey in them, and then a lot of open comb with some pollen. It's going to set up this hive to just start off in a roaring situation. Hold on, let me get it opened up here. Okay. There we go. Let's see what you guys can see. Oh, you're looking the wrong way here. Let's go around this way. I got it. There we go. Okay, let's have a peek and see what's going on inside real quick. So now I have a piece of insulated foam in the lid, and I think it's time to take that out for the season. And then I'm just going to set the lid aside. Alright, so below this inner cover is my colony. So this would be the place that I would put a syrup feeder or what have you. Got some ants in here, it looks like. Just gonna let them know that I'm coming. As you can see, there's some girls up there. They're feeding on that dry sugar. I gotta get rid of those ants. I've got some cinnamon in the house. We'll take care of that. Alright, well, they got a good bit of sugar. I fed them sugar not too long ago. So let's get that cleaned up. think there's another mound of sugar underneath this. Slow now. Here's an old pollen patty. Not keeping out. Alright. Take out any of this old paper in here because, you know, sometimes ironically they see that as a barrier and then their hive just never overcomes it for some crazy reason. Alright, so it looks like I'm not going to pull hives or the frames out, but it sure looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5 frames of bees here. They look good. Alright. So let's go ahead and add this box to them. I'm just going to sit it down real slowly on the top here. There we go. How nice that works out. So basically, the colony itself lives down below. They have double deep frames, so they have 2 deep frames. Now I added a 3rd box to it. So when I built this long hive, I made it so that I could use all standardized equipment, length strips equipment, I can't say that right, over the top. So now this is a 3 deep hive. Now they have room to go out laterally from side to side in the colony box, but what I really want them to do right now is to come up here, clean this area out for me, and start eating on this pollen patty here, because that's going to give us some nice nutrition. Some good protein. So now I'm going to take the sugar that they were munching on. I'm going to put it right back on top for them. Some of these bigger chunks I can set on the outside. And now I can put the loose sugar over the middle. I know that seems like a lot, but let me tell you, number one, if I take this back in the house, it's tainted already, it's been in the hive. So I don't really want to bring it back in the house, it will just invite ants in the house. So by putting it back on, and I'm using my candy board here, I've got the space to do that. Now they can, you might say, well, you worry about them not being able to get up to the pollen patty because of all the sugar on top. But remember, they're going to eat through that wax paper on the floor. By tonight, they'll already be consuming that. So this is going to work out really nicely for them in the long term. candy bars because they're deep, so that when I have extra feed like this, I can utilize it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to come out and put some cinnamon on this. I like keeping these boxes high because it kind of acts like a place for heat to gather. Believe it or not, so this box is empty. Plus it's available, so as soon as I get ready to put some syrup on them, which is going to be very soon, I will do that. But that's pretty much all I needed to do today. So they added a box to them down below. So now they've got 3 boxes deep. They've got a feeding space here with a pollen patio on the bottom, and then a bunch of sugar, probably 10 pounds of sugar on there. So that's a good amount. I like it. And then, of course, I always like to put a rock or something strong on there. Sugar. Get it off of here. I'm going to come out with some cinnamon and treat these areas. Now, you leave this foam bit laying around, your chickens will decide that that's something for them to peck on, and they will take it apart piece by piece. It's not very fun. Alright, so it's a nice, warm, sunny day. Girls are not too terribly bothered by all of this. And then now they have an upper entrance, which they've yet to discover. And I may or may not plug that off. I probably will put a plug in there if I think about it. Alright, so that's the latest on checking on the bees. That's it with Dive Girl Deb, feeding the bees today. That's your update for the moment is, you know, what are you doing today while you're sequestered and quarantined? I'm playing with my bees.